Allison Strong is best known for her starring role opposite Adam Sandler and Chris Rock in the Netflix comedy The Week Of, for voicing beloved fifth grade teacher Mrs. Salinas in the hit Netflix animated musical Leo, the Emmy winning series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Broadway's Bye Bye Birdie and Mamma Mia. But it's her musical talents that caught my interest. An accomplished singer, songwriter, and musician, Allison shares stories and songs from her heart. Her music and story were featured in Diego Luna's documentary series Back Home, filmed in her family's native Colombia. She is a 2023 New Jersey State Council on the Arts Music Composition Fellow. Hello, Allison. How are you?
I'm great, Mark. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank-
Um, let's start with Bronte. Uh, it's a love letter to a Victorian era Gothic novel, Wuthering Heights. It
hmm
features a sprawling mansion, a lonely young woman, and a supernatural presence that bewitches and haunts her.
Yeah.
What was it about the story Wuthering Heights that you could relate to and led to you wanting to write a song about that?
I run a songwriting group every week, a small songwriting group since the pandemic, and we have a glass jar of prompts, and I pulled the prompt book. And it brought me back to my favorite book when I was a teenager, which was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And when you're young, you sort of idealize that sort of dark, romantic character, and live in those fantasies. And I've kind of come full circle. I've experienced what I thought I wanted when I was younger. And um, at the time that I was writing that song, there was a recognition that you can write your own narrative and you don't have to live in whatever it is that you're consuming, whether that be a book or television and all those things that we idealize. We can live presently in our lives and fall in love with that, with the people that are in front of us. And so that's what Bronte is about. And uh, the music video, which you were talking about, yes, was filmed in a Victorian mansion in New Jersey, which is my home state. And we utilized a lot of period costume and also waltz. And I involved a lot of people from my in this video, people from my film and Broadway background were both incorporated, and it was just a perfect marriage of where I've been and where I'm going with my music. And in a way, that song was sort of the entry into me rewriting my own narrative in my career and in my life as an artist, which has been incredibly empowering. So Bronte is about falling in love with your own life as it is.
And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It's a beautiful video, and
Thank you.
if highlights all your talents,
Thank you.
songwriting, singing, acting, and dancing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a joy to make, and it was also sort of again, it was just a beautiful marriage of all of the pieces that didn't really make sense to me. I've always felt like I've been jutting from one art form into the next, and this just felt like a full realization of all of those things and a recognition that this is who I am, and embodying that and being proud of it. So it was very cool.
Let's talk about La Luna,
Yes,
about your grandmother.
yes.
And I think you said that your favorite lyric is something to the effect of, "I remembered that bright and beautiful things shine the brightest in the dark."
Yes. So La Luna was the first song that was written for this album back when I didn't even know that it was going to be an album. My last record was released in 2014.
Oh
That was
wow.
called March Towards the Sun. And so we're going into a different celestial body with the moon. My grandmother had a huge impact on my life, and she would always say, "Te quiero hasta Plutón y más allá." I love you all the way to Pluto and beyond that. So when she passed away, I imagine that she became a celestial being and was sort of lighting up my night sky in the darkest moments of my life. And the chorus on that song is very simple, but it's very true. Siempre sale el sol, ten fe. The sun always rises in the morning, so have faith in that.
Ah.
And it's usually the song that starts my sets because it's very grounding for me, and was very beautifully, but beautifully and simply arranged by my collaborator Brett Parnell. And we utilized some American instrumentation as well as some more Latin instrumentation with the use of the marimba. Um, and I grew up speaking both languages, and it's very comforting for me to speak in Spanish because that's the language that I spoke to my grandmother in.
Mm.
And I have a Colombian background, so uh, we utilize a lot of magical realism. And in this song, I'm literally carried out of bed by the moon and taken to, and literally transformed by the moon, uh, covered in stars and in clouds and reborn as the sun. So it's a sort of beautiful marriage of my heritage, yes, but also a utilization of that magical realism that people have probably read about in Hundred Years of Solitude, things by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and also in movies that are more current, like Encanto by Disney. So you see a lot of that magical realism there. So it wasn't intentional, but it is part of me, and it just sort of came out that way in the song.
Is there also a connection with the break you took from music?
I took a break from music because a lot of acting work was happening for me. And I think that I was doing a lot of work with my band, and everyone knows that when you're an independent artist, you kind of have to do everything. So I was booking the shows, I was playing the shows, I was selling the tickets, I was filling the venues and doing my best by bookers. And there was a lot of acting work that was happening for me at that time, and I transitioned into, I had always been on Broadway and done a lot of theatrical work, but I was transitioning into television and film, so I took some time to do that. And but there was always this sort of nagging feeling that I wasn't really doing what I think I was always meant to create.
Hmm.
I love playing roles and helping other people realize their own visions, but I've had a lot of visions, and lyrics and music is just very natural to me. And so I didn't really have time to slow down with everything that was going on with my acting career, but during the pandemic, I was forced to slow down like so many of us were,
Mm.
and started my songwriting group. And uh, La Luna was written right before the pandemic. And I released a single right before the pandemic, thinking that maybe I might be able to perform it. It's called Human Years. So I did release some music prior to the Bronte EP, but the pandemic really was a hard reset for me. And I started performing live again in June of last year, and it's been sort of incredible uh, to know that when you leap, the net does appear. And I've had a lot of support in my home state of New Jersey, in the form of a grant and amazing opportunities to perform in New York and New Jersey and now in Connecticut, which I'm so excited about.
And we're looking forward to having you here in Connecticut. You're going to be performing at Acousticool
Yes.
on July 13th.
Mm-hmm.
It's a house concert in Bristol, Connecticut, and also in Farmington on July 14th at the Hillstead Museum.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. The folks at Acousticool are so incredibly warm and generous, and they booked me about a
Mm.
year ago. And, we're very excited about that. I'll be joined by Tessa Brown, who's a Connecticut native and a
Mhm.
singer-songwriter, very talented. And then we're gonna do a performance at Hillstead the next day. So each performance is always different for me. I love utilizing different collaborators. So I'm going with my friend and pianist Jeremy Beck on Saturday at Acousticool, and my producer and friend and pedal steel player Brett Parnell for the Hillstead performance. So it's going to be very exciting, and I hope your listeners will join. It'll be a lot of fun.
I hope so too. You did I saw a video of you doing a cover of "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. Did you do any work with Scott Bradley in Postmodern Jukebox?
That was a finalist actually for the PMJ talent search a couple of years ago, and people
Oh,
love that song, and I love it too. But it was a finalist for the competition, so who knows? Maybe you're speaking it into existence for me. That would be wonderful. I do incorporate a little bit of a jazzy touch to some of my performances, depending on the instrumentation that I have, and yeah, that was a lot of fun and a super cool experience.
was that arrangement something that you came up with?
No, it wasn't. It was theirs. It
Oh,
was
okay.
theirs. Yeah, yeah. We had to choose a song from their songbook and utilize that, and it's been viewed quite a few times, and people love it.
I'm
But
one of
also,
them.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I love singing covers. I also did a cover of "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
That's a release of mine, and I utilize that in my sets, and it always it's always a crowd pleaser, and it makes people think of their parents or their childhood, and for me it makes me think of my mom, and
Mhm.
I love performing it. I opened for Leanne Rhymes in November, and I sang that. It was like the sort of penultimate song in my set, and you could hear a pin drop the way that people just
Mhm.
respond to that song. So yes, it is a permanent part of my set, and I will sing it in Connecticut.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely.
It's one of those, yeah, magical songs on its own, and then you come along, and I think the way you do it is an amazing performance as well.
Thank you. It's a simplification of it, but the song is just so profound with the lyrics, and just I think that anybody can sing that song from any point in their life and be able to connect
Mm.
so deeply to it. I play it on acoustic guitar, and my friend Brett Parnell plays pedal steel on that recording. Um, yeah, it's incredible. I love Stevie Nicks and I love Fleetwood Mac, so it's a great piece. But it's always nice. My mom always says it that people like to hear a mixture of what they know and something new. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Another artist that I've been listening to over the years, the past few years, is Gabby Moreno,
Oh
wonderful
yes.
artist who is helping to familiarize English-speaking audiences with beautiful music that might be outside their comfort zone.
I love that you're mentioning her. She's a huge
Mm.
inspiration. I love her
Oh,
version of
cool.
Amapola. I love her collaborations with Ricardo Arjona, who's another Guatemalan artist. And what an amazing reference. Thank you for
Mm.
bringing her up. Wow.
Do you think you'll see the day when the top of the Billboard charts features songs in different languages without grouping them into their own categories?
I think we're already there. We're seeing that with artists like Rosalia and Carol G and so many artists in the top 40, like Bad Bunny as well.
Mm.
Uh, we're seeing a lot of that. So I think that the Latin invasion is here to stay. And as always, I think that music is beyond language. It exists in a place beyond language.
Yeah.
Um, Many times when I perform my sets, I will preface some songs with some explanation, but I think that everything is based off of feel. How does
Mm.
this song make you feel? And I think it's really positive and powerful when people perform music that represents who they are as people. People respond well to authenticity and being genuine. And so for me, singing in both languages and writing in both languages is very natural. And I look up to artists like Gabby Moreno for sure. And I do think that there will be a day when, and I think that day has already come, when songs will top the charts in both languages. And it's very inspiring.
Um, would you like to play a game?
Sure. Oh, this is scary. This is
All right.
scary.
I was I was just checking to see if I had any other questions for you. Um, it's called Lyrical Ponderings. I'm going to give you
Oh
a song.
gosh.
I'll give you a song title that's in the form of a question. You can either answer the question or tell me who sang the song.
Oh gosh, this could be very dangerous. I don't. Wait, so what's the game?
Basically, tell me who sang the song I give you,
Tell you who sang the song I give you, or there's an option.
or just answer the question.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Pick a number between 1 and 201.
Pick a number between 1 and 201.
Yeah. Or I can pick one randomly for you.
Oh, 22?
22. Here we go. Wouldn't it be good?
Wouldn't it be good? Oh God, this is gonna be a hard game. I don't know. Wouldn't it be good? It would be good
It
if I
would.
knew the answer to this question.
And it would be very good if everybody comes down to Acousticool or to the show at the Hillstead farm.
On July 13th and 14th. Yes, in Bristol and Farmington, Connecticut. Thank you so much.
That song was by Nick Kershaw. Wouldn't it be good?
Oh my goodness. All right, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna Spotify that now.
Allison, thank you so much for joining me, and definitely looking forward to seeing you in Connecticut.
Thank you so
And
much, Mark.
best wishes for you and your career.
Thank you so much, Mark. Have a great day.
All right, take care.